In a first use of expanded military authorities in Afghanistan, U.S. warplanes destroyed 8 Taliban opium production facilities in Helmand Province Sunday, the top U.S. general there said Monday. U.S. Forces Afghanistan Commander General John Nicholson said U.S. and Afghan forces in total took out 10 facilities on the first day of Operation Jagged Knife, a combined air operation that involved Afghan A-29s and U.S. B-52s and F-22s to take out a series of factories that Nicholson said were used as a revenue source for the Taliban. The operation marked the first use of the F-22 to conduct airstrikes in Afghanistan. The highly advanced stealth fighter has capabilities that exceed what should have been necessary to destroy a Taliban target, raising questions as to why that platform was selected. On Monday, Nicholson said the F-22 was selected in a last-minute decision, based on what aircraft was available with the capability to carry a small-diameter precision bomb. Nicholson showed a clip of a target hit by an F-22 that dropped 250-pound small-diameter bombs inside a compound. The bombs destroyed 2 of the structures inside the compound, leaving 1 to avoid collateral damage, Nicholson said. The number of weapons released in Afghanistan hit its highest monthly point in nearly 7 years in October, and the total number of weapons released this year is on track to nearly triple over 2016. Nicholson said U.S. intelligence and law enforcement agencies estimate that the Taliban earns about $200 million a year from opium production in Afghanistan. The strikes are focused on the drug production facilities, not Afghan farmers growing opium poppy, the core ingredient in heroin and other opiate drugs, Nicholson said. The Marines also provided overhead fires support with the high-mobility rocket systems, HIMARS, and the Army provided surveillance support, Air Force's Central Command spokesman Lieutenant Col. Damian Pickard said. Nicholson declined to say how many U.S. aircraft were involved in the operation or how many facilities the U.S. intends to strike in the continuing operation. Nicholson estimated that there are about 400 to 500 opium production facilities in Afghanistan. Pickard said that the F-22s took off from Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates and the B-52s were from the 69th Expeditionary Bomber Squadron assigned to Al Udeid Air Base's 379th Air Expeditionary Wing. At the same time, the number of weapons released against the Islamic State fell precipitously in October to their lowest point since October 2014, the third month of Operation Inherent Resolve. The statistics, released Tuesday by U.S. Air Force's Central Command, are a sign of how quickly the war against ISIS is changing in the wake of several costly defeats for the militant group. They also reflect how the coalition is aggressively ramping up its efforts in Afghanistan in the more than 16-year war against the Taliban. The coalition released 653 weapons over Afghanistan last month, more than any since November 2010, when aircraft released 866 weapons. The coalition also released 740 weapons in September 2010 and 1,043 in October 2010. That period marked some of the most intense fighting of the bloody Battle of Singin. AFCENT originally said last month that 751 weapons were released over Afghanistan in September, but later revised that number down to 414. In an email, AFCENT said that it had miscounted F-16 20mm cannon fire, mistakenly treating each round as its own weapon release instead of counting 100 rounds fired as one weapon release, as it usually does. The coalition has now released 3,554 weapons in the first 10 months of 2017. At this rate, the coalition is likely to drop more than 4,000 bombs by the end of the year, which would at least triple the 1,337 released in all of 2016. The last time Afghanistan airstrikes topped 4,000 was in 2012, when 4,083 weapons were released. AFCENT said that the September increase of F-16s deployed to Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base, from 12 to 18, contributed to the coalition's increase in airstrikes. The coalition's increased use of B-52s there, and placement of a detachment of KC-135 reconnaissance aircraft in Afghanistan also allowed it to strike more targets. AFCENT also attributed the increase in strikes to more offensive maneuvers by the Taliban in ISIS Khorasan, a local affiliate of ISIS.